Lindsey Nelson Stadium. It's another big baseball weekend for your Tennessee Volunteers, who are taking on Missouri this weekend here. Although it has moved up a bit, we've got a Thursday start instead of a Friday start.
Yeah, unique, and because of that, there's a little less parking on campus with classes still going on. But hopefully we'll see a great crowd with plenty of the students still on hand, and it is a beautiful night for baseball here in Knoxville.
Unlike a couple weeks ago when we were out here doing this very same thing with our big orange leadoff mobile desk prior to the start of the LSU series, and we were inside and we were absolutely shivering. A lot colder.
Fortunately, there's very little wind as well. It is a beautiful night. If you're thinking about coming out, you really should. This is the day to do it because it's going to cool off a little bit as the sun goes down, and the Vols taking on a Missouri team that is last place in the SEC. On paper, you would expect the Vols to come out on top. So if you want to see a good ball game, tonight's the night to do it. Let's get into the matchup, Rick.
Yeah, and speaking of Missouri, this is the place where one of the stops Tony Vitello had before coming to UT. That's his alma mater. He played there. He also coached there, but his years there do not necessarily conjure up good memories of his days in Columbia. In fact, listen to what the coach had to say just the other day about this Missouri program.
I did there, and while that other regime was there, you name it. My dad was in a life-threatening car accident, and I'm getting yelled at in the third base box. Many other things too. So I'm glad that's over with, and there was a change. So we'll welcome those guys in here, but when the game starts, it'll just be like it was in Lexington or the weekend before against LSU. There's a lot of respect in this league. Everybody has for each other, but when the game starts, the game starts.
30-mile-per-hour winds over in left field.
Yeah, when the game starts, the game starts. That means welcome to town, but we're not going to take it easy on you.
And I think that's the thing that all Vol fans love the most about Tony Vitello is just his brutal honesty. And it's a shame when you have a relationship like that with your alma mater. Fortunately, it looks like this new coaching staff with Carrick Jackson, he's in his first year at Missouri, coming over from Memphis. Previously, before that, he brought Southern to the NCAA tournament out of the SWAC. Looks like that relationship is being mended now. His former head coach at Missouri is now the pitching coach for the Tigers. There's a lot of ties in the SEC, Rick.
Right.
This is another one of those matchups where the guys know a lot about each other in the dugout. There's going to be no secrets by the time they take the field at 7:30. Coach V does want to come out on top in this one.
And I'm sure the Tigers know a lot about this third-ranked Tennessee baseball team, especially a couple guys who have been playing lights out of late. Christian Moore, what a weekend he had last weekend, 9 for 15, 600 batting average, 4 home runs. He was, did I say those numbers?
Yes,
he was named National Player of the Week, which is awesome. And all Blake Burke does is he's right on his tails for the home runs, but he's riding a 31-game hitting streak, the longest in the nation, going into the game tonight against Missouri. So the Vols, more importantly, trying to keep pace with Kentucky, John, atop the SEC East.
2 games behind the Wildcats for first place in the SEC East. Those are also the top 2 teams in the entire conference. But like you said, Christian Moore and Blake Burke, I talked about reasons to come out to the ballpark tonight. Those guys have hit at least 1 home run in 4 of the last 6 games for Tennessee. That's incredible. 2 of the best home run hitters in all of college baseball. And they are on each other's tails for the Tennessee career home run record. Semo currently with a 2-homer lead over Burke for that record.
All right, so where we are right now is just outside the right field line area here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. They're setting up for the big tailgate. This is where the family and friends and parents of the players usually congregate before each baseball game. So we're going to be hanging out with them. We've got reports coming up on WVLT News at 5 and 6 o'clock. And John will have your highlights of what we hope will be a series opening win tonight against the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah, that and plenty more, I should say.
Coming
there's
a thing called the draft.
There's a little thing called the NFL draft tonight. Titans picking 7th overall, and a slight chance Jalen Wright gets picked tonight. We'll keep our fingers crossed as he goes for one of the top 32 selections in the NFL draft. He will be one of the top running backs selected. We'll find out tonight if he is the first off the board in the first round. But we'll have that, much more for you. Tennessee basketball getting some commitments as well, and a really cool story on the Webb Spartan baseball program. It's all coming up tonight, as well as the highlights of this one on WVLT News.
That's a lot. I'm going to have to watch.
You're going to have to. Everybody needs to.
With John Sartori, I'm Rick Russo, coming to you from out here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium on the UT campus. Have a great afternoon, and go Vols.